1740 GMT on Biz Africa. Let's get on with some commodity news now for you. South Sudan's first oil shipment since January 2012 has reached Sudan. That's according to the country's state news agency, SUNA. Now, the African neighbours, of course, agreed in March this year to resume cross-border oil flows ending around the pipeline fees. It had prompted South Sudan to cut down its entire oil production. Earlier this week, the government turned on the wells at the Palouge field. That's the country's largest. It's in the Upper Nile state in the northeast. The move is a sign of eased relations between the two countries. South Sudan hopes that within a month, it can pump up to 180,000 barrels of crude per day, where the Dar blend, it's a heavy, sour crude, is produced. Now, originally, the country had planned to have resumed oil exports by January, but mistrust between the two neighbours delayed the setup of a border buffer zone between these two countries, and that was a key condition that had been set by Sudan for oil to be let through into its territories. Now, still on the oil matter, Sudan, of course, looks set to receive a total of $2 billion in oil pipeline fees from South Sudan by the end of 2014. The International Monetary Fund is urging the country to prioritize overhauling its entire agricultural sector with the funds. Now, the lender estimates that in 2013, Sudan will get some $500 million from South Sudan, taking into account that oil flows will be different during the year. The neighbours were embroiled for decades in a civil war which ended in 2005, agreed in September on access to two pipelines and Port Sudan. Juba, of course, had stopped oil exports last year January after clashes in a disputed border area over oil revenues and land. The oil flow, however, restarted in April, and analysts say fees will be paid from around June. Now, the oil deal expires in 2017 when South Sudan hopes to have a pipeline of its own which will allow it to bypass Sudan entirely.